I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
Smack-a-ma-gob, it is time for the only news that matters. And Paul Stanley of Kiss realizes the band's 1978 made-for-TV film Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park doesn't rank high on all-time best movies list. Still, in 2023, he told Hollywood reporters, "I embrace it like an ugly child." You have to realize that we were like these imbeciles who got to take over the school. We knew nothing about acting, nothing about filmmaking. We were sold on the idea of the film in a sentence that was virtually A Hard Day's Night meets Star Wars. Well, it was far from either. The film, which aired on October 28, 1978, featured band members as superheroes of sorts using the respective stage names: Stanley as the Star Child, Gene Simmons as the Demon, Ace Frehley as the Spaceman, and Peter Criss as the Catman. The group is tasked with battling evil inventor Abner Devereaux as it fights to save a California amusement park from being destroyed. Stanley admitted that he doesn't remember much of the production process, but noticed it was a particularly dramatic time for the band, which was at its commercial peak, but the members weren't exactly seeing eye to eye at the time. I just remember at one point being on the set at Magic Mountain and turning to my manager at the time, Bill Coyne, and saying, "I think this is going to be horrible." And he said, "Don't worry. You should never hear anybody say, 'Don't worry,' you know?" Stanley does, however, remember when the film was screened for the cast and crew. He was unimpressed, but not distraught. "It was disappointing to me, but I clearly didn't lose sleep over it," he said. Again, you're dealing with four guys who have no concept of what making a film was, let alone what was entailed in acting. Literally, before each scene, we would yell out, "Line," and they would feed us the line, and then they'd roll the camera. Critics condemned the film, but fans couldn't have been happier with the result. "We were used to the sticks and the stones that were thrown at us," Stanley said. "That was part of who we were and who we are. We never played by the rules. Our only rule has always been no rules. We do what we want." Yeah, like in the 80s when Paul Stanley of Kiss wished he was David Lee Roth and doing a really, really bad job on it. 501 jeans, constantly going to the doctor. Oh, cringe-proof stuff. And yeah, going back to Kiss Meets the Phantom, there was part of an interview. They said you cannot ask Gene or Paul about Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. This was like in the late 70s or very early 80s. You could not ask them about this movie, but enough years come by that I guess they're like, yeah, I guess you can ask that. Because, I mean, how much longer can you go without, like, answering the question about this terrible movie? And how the article said the critics hated it, but the fans loved it. Not this fan. And I was a huge Kiss fan at the time. Huge into Kiss. And I saw the movie at my friend's house. And it was interesting because we saw it in the living room, while in his bedroom he had the TV on with a tape recorder next to the speaker so he can tape the movie audio-wise. You know, because back then, you know, there were VCRs back then, but they were extremely expensive. Like $1,000 or more to own a VCR back then. So, yeah, we had it on audio cassette after that. And I never saw that movie again till I believe it was 1985. CBS gave it as a late night special movie. And I remember that night I had to go to a wedding. And while I was I set my VCR. You know, your VCR, you can set it to a time. So I set it for the Kiss movie, and I went to the wedding. And when I came back, I saw the Kiss movie. I had it recorded. Now, like I said, when driving back to my house after I watched it back in 1978, I remember sitting in the car thinking, man, that wasn't good. And I loved Kiss. I know there's a lot of Kiss fans out there that when they saw it, they loved it. Not me, but I gotta say, when I got back home in 1985 and watched it, oh my God, that movie is so terrible, it's awesome. So now I have a whole new appreciation for it. I love it for all the wrong reasons. And I still watch it all the time. I have to put it on at least once or twice a year. And I don't like Attack of the Phantom, the European version where they put songs from the solo albums and stuff. I like that funky, horrible 70s music to go to this horrible movie. And it's just dumb fun. And in case you don't know, on this channel, I do a commentary on the whole movie. And yeah, that's back when I used to drink. So I got drunk and did a commentary to it. And people love it, so check it out if you haven't seen it yet. So yeah, Paul calls this the ugly child of Kiss. Well, I don't know, man. Crazy Nights to me is uglier. And so is Hot in the Shade and Sonic Boom. My personal opinion. I know some of you out there love it. Also Unmasked. I gotta add Unmasked because that album really sucks too. But let me get back to what I was saying. I know a lot of people out there love those albums. No offense. That's great that you love them. You should not be upset that I think they all suck monkey semen. See, here's the thing. I'm a big fan of the band, the album Monster, the last Kiss album. Universally hated as well. So go ahead, all you people that love Unmasked, Crazy Nights, Out in the Shade, either of those albums but hate Monster. Because there's no way you like Sonic Boom and hate Monster. There's just no way. You're lying. You're just trying to be that guy. But I hate Sonic Boom. I just think it's horrible. Tommy Thayer trying to be Ace Frehley in those guitar solos. And by the way, Tommy Thayer is not the first fake Frehley. It was an African American from Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. And there was a scab, a Cheater Chris there as well, before Eric Singer. But anyway, yeah, those albums suck. But I love Monster. So go ahead, say how much Monster sucks, and you'll see the reaction that I would expect you to have. It is not going to change my opinion when I drop the needle on Hell or Hallelujah, Back in the Stone Age, Wall of Sound, Long Way Below. I love that album. Yeah, it has a couple stinkers, Eat Your Heart Out and stuff like that. But for the most part, I'm glad this is the last Kiss album. I know many of you aren't. I'd probably say all of you aren't. All of you probably want another album. Not me. I'm satisfied with Monster because really, I mean, after Sonic Boom, it was like, oh, screw these guys, man. And then they come back with Monster, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's really good. So I'm glad that Kiss went out with a great album. And yes, I know a lot of people complain about the production. I am blessed with ears that can't really tell production on all these albums. There's a couple I can tell, like Blizzard of Oz from Ozzy and Hotter Than Hell from Kiss. I can tell that production is kind of like different sounding than most records, but for the most part, I can't tell that this is badly produced. Sounds kick-ass to me. Well, anyway, Monster rules, and Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park rules for all the wrong reasons. Absolutely love both. And I want to thank you all because I love you all. I love you all as well that are still watching right now. The only news that matters. And I hope you're subscribed to my channel. If you're not, please subscribe. Click the little notification bell. Like the video and leave comments below about what you think about Kiss Meets the Phantom and Monster and how I'm wrong and whatever. You know, that's good for a giggle. You know, that's all good for the YouTube algorithms as well. So, everybody out there, stay frosty, listen to Black Sabbath, and schmack 'em a gob.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.